The city of Minneapolis is an older community and it has a classic downtown. This particular site that we worked on had become vacant for several years. The city approached the HRA and said, look, we're a small community. We need your help and expertise to address what has become an eyesore at the west end of their downtown. So they asked us to do a market study, and we determined that affordable senior housing was the best fit for the site.
An HRA stands for a Housing and Redevelopment Agency, and it has two missions. First one is to address affordable housing in a community. That it addresses and ensures that there's adequate affordable housing for low and moderate income households in that community. The second one is the redevelopment piece, and that part of the mission is to address blight or economic development or economically distressed areas in the community. Housing authorities are public entities. They are governed by statute, and that statute says that they have to be the city council, the mayor, or the county board of officials, whatever is the kind of governing jurisdiction, appoints their board of commissioners. So they have a board of commissioners that's linked to that community and the community that they serve. Their funding is really varied. HRAs can be funded both at the federal, local, and state level. Primarily, though, in Minnesota, most of the HRAs have two primary programs that are funded by HUD, so Housing and Urban Development. And the first one is public housing, and the second one is the Section 8 program. HRAs also get state and local dollars as well, and typically that enables them to do things that are not HUD funded, but maybe more around the redevelopment. They get levies that help them address blight. They may be able to do particular type of housing development that is needed in that community. There's many different things that they can do, but they are supported mostly by the federal government programs, but then it is augmented by state and local dollars.
The new development is going to be called Piccadilly Square. It will be 3 stories tall, and it will have 79 apartments for lower income seniors with an annual income of about $34,000 or less. Piccadilly Square is an example of good partnerships between the public sector and the private sector. We've worked with private parties to attract private investment to pay for a substantial amount of the construction budget. The remaining amount is provided through regional sources such as the Metropolitan Council, Federal Home Loan Bank Board, and the Community Development Block Grant and home programs. The HRA also brings its own resources to this particular development, and that's what's very important, and the important role that the county can play in helping communities make their dreams and the vision for their community come true.
Red Wing is a community that sits about 55 minutes from the Twin Cities on the Mississippi River. We have a strong manufacturing base. It's also in Goodhue County, which is a strong agricultural county for Minnesota. We have in Red Wing public housing that we work with. It's called low rent public housing. We also have Section 8 vouchers, and we also have a Section 8 project-based vouchers. The Red Wing HRA also does commercial rehabilitation and some single-family housing rehabilitation. We get grants from the state of Minnesota, and we, in turn, bring those to the businesses at about $50,000 each. The Red Wing HRA has made a number of loans to different kinds of businesses in the last couple of years. We've done loans to the Elks Club in town. Their building was getting to be what we like to call tired over the years. It needed some rehab work. They came to us, we were able to help them with a $50,000 loan, and they were able to revamp their building, and now it's becoming a more popular place so that they can hold wedding receptions and other parties like that. Another business that we worked with was the craft brewery, the Red Wing Brewery. We're very proud of that because it becomes a tourist destination. We helped get that going in the Old West Main area, and the Old West Main area itself has received a number of these loans, and that rehab is starting to show down there too.
At a time when we were looking for capital to move this project along, the Red Wing HRA learned of our intentions, and they were very excited to assist us with helping to bring back the brewing tradition here in Red Wing. When we started, this was not much more than a warehouse. It had been abandoned for about a year and a half when we took over the building. Through the contributions and the partnership with the Red Wing HRA, the result was a vibrant brewery with a gathering place for the people here in the city and for visitors to Red Wing, where they could come and enjoy themselves. And that's not something that's specific here to the brewery, but if you were to walk up and down this historic section of Main Street here in Red Wing, you'll see a lot of other influences that the Red Wing HRA has had as well in terms of community renovation.
HRAs vary in size across the state. There's one that are as small as 1.5 persons who manage an entire building and all of the responsibilities and report to HUD and do all the management and maintenance and all of that and serve the residents in that building. However, there are larger size ones. The largest HRA that we have in the state has a couple of hundred employees. So it really does vary. And in that size and in that scope of what they're able to do more things because they have both the funding and the staffing capacity to do it.
The value of the HRA is that we can deliver services and programs efficiently at an economy of scale across the county. And our services are especially valuable for smaller communities that don't have the budget or the staff capacity to undertake these programs individually. It also is extremely important when undertaking redevelopment or housing development initiatives, because then the county HRA can offer its resources and leverage the resources that communities and other partners can provide.
I think that's really important for us to remember. How much work we actually do in our HRAs to try to put it in a small summary is very difficult to do because we are doing so many different things.